Welcome to another episode of the If I Speak podcast. Here today is a match preview alongside myself and Dharmesh, a Chelsea fan and a Leeds fan.
How you doing,
Um,
bruv?
I'm not bad. Big game coming up soon.
Yeah, man. This game, it's one of those ones where you look to the calendar, like, say if there were fans back in the stadium, it's one
Yeah,
of them ones would have been like, oh, I would have loved to go to that game or something, or I would have wanted to see how the atmosphere is for that game. Because, like,
100%.
yeah, but how are you feeling anyway, bruv? Just
I don't
generally.
know, man. I mean, I don't really want to go into the last game that we just played because we'll save that for our weekly video. But
Yeah.
let's just say it wasn't great. And
Mhm.
we got Chelsea next to absolutely battered us last time, 3-1 at the bridge. And you had fans there as
Yeah, we
well.
had fans. Yeah, I just realized as well. I was like, damn,
Yeah,
that's when we actually had like 2,000 fans or something.
yeah.
It's
I
mad,
mean,
isn't it?
if we had fans, there might be a slight advantage.
Yeah, yeah,
But
definitely.
other than that, it's looking a bit. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a rocky game for us. But this fixture, man, what can we say about this fixture? It's been dating back for years, man.
It's one of them ones where like nowadays it's a big fixture, but back then it was a bigger fixture back then.
Yeah. I
But
think it
yeah,
was
it's
I think it was because of the fact that obviously we in that 2003 2004 season
yeah,
we dropped down to the lower divisions and stayed there for
mm.
almost 15 16 years but
ha
before that
happiest
the
days of my life back then.
yeah, I bet it was. It's probably because we weren't giving you a boot in the arse. No, but
Like all
speaking
them
about
years
that,
ago, innit?
yeah, but speaking about that, look, I mean, this fixture, like Chelsea Leeds, has been dubbed as like one of the biggest fixtures of all time. Like if we look at back at the 1970 FA Cup, even till today, that's the biggest. I mean, that's a long time ago, I know, but that's the biggest fixture ever televised that's ever been watched. Um, so that's had the most numbers football wise, and I mean, it's one of them fixtures where you might as well like there might as well not be a ball there. Like
It's a
it's just a
rugby match,
wrestling
innit?
match. It's literally
Yeah,
what it
that's
is. It's
it,
a
man. That's
wrestling game.
literally what it is.
It's UFC. It's Conor McGregor versus Khabib, man. I'm telling
That's
you,
it, yeah.
mental. It was practically the Arsenal versus Tottenham. It was just as big. It's just bigger
It
like
was,
Man
yeah.
United, Liverpool.
It
Um,
was, yeah. It
and I
was.
think Chelsea and Leeds have always had that sort of rivalry. Like despite the fact we've been
Mm.
so far away from you, and it's a 207 mile gap between Chelsea and Leeds, but the rivalry's always been there.
Yeah.
I think it always will, especially now that we're back. I mean, now the game's a bit softer now. There's more
You sound like
scrutiny, and
Roy Keane, man.
there's the
You sound
game's a
like
bit
Roy Keane.
the game's a bit softer now in the sense that players are
Yeah.
not completely going mad as they were back then.
Mm.
Um, but it's still gonna be a wrestling match. I can feel it.
Yeah, the thing is, like, when it comes to like Leeds v Chelsea, I always think of it similar in terms of like Newcastle v Manchester United. It's like one of them ones where it's like
Yeah,
back in the day, it used to be one of the biggest fixtures. Like say like Man City versus Liverpool now. Like back then, it was Newcastle versus Man U. Then obviously Newcastle had their problems and stuff, went up and down. Sort of like you guys as well, but you're still a big club in that sense.
yeah,
So that's what it reminds me of. It's like it's one of them ones where it's like it's similar to Newcastle Man U. The rivalry's still there, but obviously with no fans, it's a bit different, isn't it? But obviously, like you said, yeah, all the history and stuff like the 1970 FA Cup like FA Cup final got through after that second. I think there was two legs, wasn't it? I think that's the first time
yeah.
there's ever been two legs, and
It's
we ended
two
up
legs.
winning
Yeah,
that, which was big for us back then because we hated you guys even more back then. So
yeah,
it's
and
just good to get one over you guys back then and set us for our foundation really to carry on with success really. So
yeah. I mean, even after that, like we talk about the 70s, but then it started in the 60s. Obviously, carried on in the 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way to the 2000s. The Champions Leagues, fighting Leeds and Chelsea always up against each other.
mm,
The tackles, the yellow cards. I mean, I'm not sure, so don't quote me on this, but I think I read somewhere before this, when I was doing my research, is that apparently the Leeds versus Chelsea fixtures have had the most yellow cards dished out and red cards dished out in English football. So I
interesting.
won't be surprised if that is true. And if it's not, it's
Yeah,
definitely up there because I mean,
it's a
what a
huge game.
fixture. Yeah. I mean, but it's all different now, isn't it? Now, obviously, there's no fans this season,
Hmm.
so it's going to be a bit weird because fans would normally be, effing and blinding at each other before the
Oh yeah, definitely.
game and
Yeah.
during the game and throwing things and police
I
everywhere.
think I think it's more like I think yeah, as I touched on at the start, I think it's more between the fans than it
Yeah,
is like the actual football game. I
players.
think like
Yeah,
it's one
definitely.
of them ones, isn't it? Like fair enough, like we had fans at Stamford Bridge, but what it was only 2,000 and plus there was no away crowd as well.
Yeah,
And I felt that that would have been a harder game for us if there was actual like Leeds away fans there because
yeah,
they would have waited so long to come back to the bridge and stuff. And likewise, when we come up to Ellen Road and stuff this Saturday
yeah.
as well. So yeah, it's just
It's like
it's one for the fans, isn't it? It's one of them ones, isn't it?
yeah,
But
it is. Even for the players though, like we talk about like Llorente last game. That was his
oh,
first
Lorraine,
game
yeah,
for us. Diego Llorente, we bought from Sociedad in the summer. Um, just to give a bit of context, and he played his first game against you guys
mm.
in a 3-1
Did he
hammering,
get
and
injured?
obviously, I think he did. Yeah, he got injured, and that was the
No,
first.
it was. I swear two of your players got injured or something, right?
I
I
think
can't
so. Yeah,
remember.
I think he got injured. I don't know if it was that game or the game
Oh
after.
no! It was your centre back Koch. He got injured, and then I think we were just booing Lorente for no reason. I think
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I think it was just some fouls or something that he was committing. I just can't remember, but
No,
I'll
no.
look for that.
I think he committed a foul, like a slightly dirty tackle.
Yeah,
What's deemed nowadays as a dirty
obviously,
tackle.
dirty Leeds, in it. What do you expect, bro?
Yeah, yeah, but no, nowadays these dirty tackles are not dirty tackles when you compare them to back then.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah,
obviously that he made a tackle, and then I think after that he just kept losing the ball a bit,
yeah,
and Chelsea fans booing him. And obviously
yeah.
it's just like his first professional game in the Premier League, so
I
he's
think
like,
because it was the first game
you know,
back at the bridge as well, like because of
yeah.
lockdown. I think that's why. I think that's why the way it was, but it's just funny watching on TV.
I mean, now when there's no fans, the only thing you can resort to is Twitter beef. And right now, the Chelsea Leeds, oh my days! You go on Twitter, it's endless. It'll go on.
I'm not
You'll
even on
be
Twitter to
for
be fair,
days.
so like I don't really know, but I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll take your word for it, bro.
yeah. But yeah. Moving on. I mean, even obviously in the last game you had Lampard. I know you don't want to talk about Lampard because of
I don't mind to be honest, but obviously now we've got
yeah,
Thomas Tuchel now. But yeah, sorry, go on, carry on, bro.
yeah.
What were you gonna say?
So you had Lampard, and obviously prior to Lampard becoming Chelsea manager, he was obviously um at Derby County in the Championship, and obviously Bielsa and Leeds and Derby had a few run-ins across the 2 seasons. That Bielsa was manager, but that's for sure.
Mm.
And obviously the whole Spygate case came out,
Oh
uh,
yeah, oh yeah, I
and then
remember that. Yeah, that was
Lampard
jokes.
came. Yeah, Lampard came out with the he spat a few lies, didn't he? Basically, I mean, you probably won't admit it, but he said Bielsa turned up to Derby County's training ground with pliers and binoculars, and obviously that started the memes and that started the front page
Yeah,
headlines. And but it wasn't. It was just Bielsa was just had someone standing outside on a
standing
footpath
outside.
watching it,
Yeah,
and he admitted it.
it's a media
Yeah,
hype in it as well. They just love to like spin things. But yeah, that's jokes as well. I think that's what adds a bit of fuel to the fire as well in terms of the rivalry. Even though
yeah.
it's not much in the sense, but
It's not.
it's
But
because
I mean,
the media
yeah.
hype it up in it. But it's still jokes.
It's definitely added to the like. I think Leeds fans, if they didn't before in Lampard's playing days, they definitely do now. Especially the thing
Mm,
that happened at Derby County and obviously then losing to Chelsea when he was obviously manager.
mm,
But coming back to what I was saying is
mm.
then during that when that came out, Bielsa was forced to do a press conference where he had to explain how he did his research, and he came out with all the stats and how he came to find out stats of different teams. He had spreadsheets made and whatnot.
Mm.
But then that obviously, like you said, that was just a media, like all in the media. And then obviously moving on, then Frank, I think after that in the Bielsa's first season, ended up lower than us. We ended up third, and I think they ended up sixth or seventh. And then the
Yeah,
next season, we gave a goal away to Villa, in before the semi-final, and then before the final, sorry, in the semi-final of the playoff, and then Derby County made it through to play Villa, yeah, and
mm.
that's when they lost. And obviously, then
Yeah. They were
Frank's Derby
terrible that
County,
day.
they
Derby.
stayed in the league with us, and obviously then the next season we'd made our way up, whilst Derby County this season now probably sitting near the bottom of the table.
I don't think they
I
are. I
think
think they've
middle to bottom, definitely,
yeah,
yeah.
something like that. Yeah, yeah,
But I mean, I don't really look at them anymore. But
yeah.
then obviously
Same.
Frank.
Ever since Lampard left, Mason Mount left there, Tomori as well. Like he
But I
just
know, like
obviously
you
like.
had, like Frank had so many good players there, especially
Mm,
Chelsea ones, and like the fact he still couldn't do it, I don't know. I mean, and then obviously he moved to Chelsea, bought some great players. Undoubted. Definitely, there's some great players guys have there. Um, they might not found their feet yet, but they will. Are definitely under Tuchel, because I think since Tuchel's been in,
mm.
been the manager, they've been getting some really good performances.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's quite envious, watching them, and you think actually they're doing really well. Starting
Yeah.
to well, and I think that's what worries me about this Leeds fixture is we lost last time against Lampard's Chelsea.
Mm.
Now we're under Tuchel's Chelsea, who are in good form right now, and we've just lost like our last 4 or 5 games, so it's not great. So it is a bit scary. But let's see what happens. I mean, we've got a couple of players back now, injured
Who is
players.
back for you guys?
So we've got Phillips back now, who played against West Ham.
Yeah,
Um,
I saw that. Yeah.
Despite the performance, I'm not gonna say the score or anything, just to save it
Mm.
for the main vid. But
Mm.
just the performance he put in, I think it was really good. Despite the fact that obviously
He
we
was
didn't
out injured as well, isn't it?
he was out
So yeah.
injured. He's not. What Bielsa does is he then puts them into the injured players into the under 23s and lets them play a game.
Oh, okay.
So Rodrigo basically, who was playing with the under 23s, I think 1 or 2 games prior to then him getting put into the team yesterday.
Yeah.
Phillips never had any of that. Phillips has just been like chucked straight into the deep end, and he played really well against West Ham. Sorry, which I didn't think would happen, but he seemed a lot better than a lot of our other players. And then obviously we've got Llorente's back. Obviously he's been back the last couple of games now, so he'll be staying. Hopefully he won't be injured again. Especially against Chelsea. I don't want him going out in a Chelsea game, getting injured by dirty Chelsea. But so he's
Yeah.
staying, and then I think Rodrigo's back. Koch is still on his way to recovery. We haven't really heard anything about that yet. But we've got the majority of our squad back. I think it's just Koch we're waiting for to return. We've got Berardi back as well, who's our defender. He's back as well. I mean, if he plays in the Chelsea game, I wouldn't be surprised, because he is a great tackler. Let's put it that way. I mean, if you don't know who he is, Google him and you'll find a picture of him with blood on his shirt and blood coming out of his nose, because he's a I don't want to say dirty. I'll say he's a good tackler, and he's a vicious player. So if he plays against Chelsea, I wouldn't be surprised. That would be in the headlines, wouldn't it?
No,
Chelsea,
100% would be.
Berardi
Yeah.
back.
If there's blood or something, imagine.
Definitely. But what are your thoughts about the game anyway? And what about the last time you played us? How you feeling?
Yeah, I think weirdly enough, I actually think the last game that we played will be somewhat different. I think the way we approach this game, this coming Saturday, because I think at the time, I've always said to a lot of people, like, that Leeds game we played at the Bridge, that was Frank Lampard's last good game for Chelsea, in the sense that his management was spot on, everything was spot on, tactics, everything was spot on up until that game. Then obviously all went downhill from there. Like, performances weren't up to scratch and stuff. So that's, as us Chelsea fans, we look back at that game at Leeds and we're like, yeah, that's the last game Lampard actually had a good game tactically and actually nullified Leeds in a sense. Even though you guys scored and stuff, like, we still managed to win the game and stuff. We were still bossed you guys, to be fair, in most of the game anyway. But I think this time round we're in better form. We're in really good form. We haven't lost in 11 games since Thomas Tuchel's arrived, and we've got the hard run out the way. I've always said as well, because we had Manchester United, we had Liverpool and Everton. If we got at least 7 points out of those 3 games, then I'd be more than confident that we finished in the top 4. And look, like, we replied and basically got 7 points. So in that sense, it's great for us, for our confidence and stuff. Like, try and rectify some of the errors that we've caused for ourselves in like December, January time, when it was torrid for us. Like, I think we were sitting. Do you know what? I was deeping earlier before we started. I was like, Liverpool were where we were. Sorry, Liverpool were where we are right now in, I think, December, January time, because that's when they spanked Palace 7-0.
Yeah.
And then where they are now is where we were in December, January. So it's like a switch, isn't it? It's mad. It's like quite the same with City and Tottenham. Tottenham were there, City were there. Now it's just like that switch. But yeah, I think going into the game generally, I think we shouldn't misjudge it too much. I think the fact that we've come out this tough run on paper, like I said, Everton, Manchester United, Liverpool, we shouldn't really discredit this game at all. We should take it as if it's a cup final, which is jokes as well, because we're talking about cup finals. But Thomas Tuchel has been saying, and like a lot of Chelsea fans have been saying that even myself, like every game's like a cup final for us because of the lost ground we have to make up. So we can't take any game like easily. Because I know Leeds United will be a hard game anyway because of the way they press, they attack. Like they're one of those teams that even though they're bad form, you just know one day they might turn up. So, and I guess it's a bit different to, let's say, if you're playing Newcastle, West Brom, or like Crystal Palace or something, you know that they're not going to turn up. You have that feeling. But with Leeds, I always get the feeling that it's unpredictable with them. Like you just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like it might even be like a crazy score. Like I highly doubt it because we're defensively really solid. Like we stopped Atletico Madrid, United. We kept so many clean sheets basically. So but yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's like another 4-2 Chelsea game or something like that. In the sense that your attack is good, but I think our defense has massively improved and stuff, which is why I don't think that you guys will get through as much as you did in the first game that we played, because there were still some gaps. And obviously, you guys scored and stuff. Granted, there was an error. It was a good goal, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like to start off with, but yeah, that's my thoughts on the game, really. What about you?
I mean, I got mixed feelings about this one. I mean, when you're playing Chelsea, and obviously, I mean, I don't really want to say this, but I have to. I mean, factually, you guys have been really good in the Premier League for years to come, and obviously we've been out of it. We've been playing in a different league, and obviously we've got different players. This is their first time. Well, some of them their first time playing in the Premier League, especially for the first team anyway. I mean, we had Bamford, who's an ex-Chelsea player, but he'd never actually played a professional game for Chelsea.
I think he did, didn't he? I think he played one or two, did he?
I think he played for the youth team. He
played for,
but as a like professional match, I don't think he played for you guys. He went on loan most of his time with you guys. So he went to Crystal Palace and a few other places like that, and Burnley. And
oh my God, wow.
So he went to quite a few teams. He'd been around everywhere. So I think he'll be proud, to now be playing the first team striker, especially against his old club. I mean, even last game, like you speaking about last game, and that goal. I mean, Calvin Phillips.
I remember that pass, man. I remember that. Yeah.
Passed it in, and I wasn't expecting it because it was really weird, like where Calvin was and where Bamford was. It
was one of them ones where it was such a good ball that it's awkward for the defender and the goalkeeper, which is why I kind of understand the error in a sense. But then again, like I can't remember who it was. I think it was between Zuma and Mendy at the time. I think at the time I was like, oh, I blame Mendy. But then when you look back on it, it's like, wow, that's actually like a tough ball to deal with because of the way it spins round. It's one of them ones, isn't it? But sorry, Karen, what you're saying, by the way.
Sorry, don't worry. Even as fans, like when we watch a game, and we're obviously quite critical, but with this, like it was just like it was unseen. No one really knew that was going to happen, and Phillips just passed it into Bamford. Bamford got the goal, and I'm not discrediting Mendy or anything because he's been excellent. Like we saw earlier, we were talking about on our group chat about Mendy and the amount of clean sheets he's got, and he's been excellent for you guys. So I think that plus your defense, with the defense that you have, the back line. And looking at our backline right now, it's not the best. It's going to be a bit scary. Attack-wise, I don't know about you guys. I don't know. I'm not sure. So our defenders might do all right. But last time out, you smashed us. And but then again, I feel like Bamford got that early goal, and like no one was expecting it. But Bamford, Calvin got it to Bamford. Bamford hit that early goal. So I think if we can get an early goal against you guys like we did last time, it'll be good. I mean, if the fans are back at home at Ellen Road,
I'd be more worried. I'd be more worried if there was fans.
I'd be more happier in the sense that I know we're more likely to get a draw or something. Like even if we lose, it won't be where we played badly like we did with West Ham. And I think especially like our team right now, like the West Ham game, like we just weren't on it. Like our strikers, they're just soft shots. Like Bamford hit a few soft shots. Dallas is obviously playing as a centre mid role. So he had a few shots, I think. I think West Ham just outdone us, really. They just outplayed us. And I'm hoping Chelsea don't do the same, but I just can't see it not happening. But I think the thing is, like, we've lost now our last 5 games. I think it's 5 games. And that's big for us. Like, we're not really expecting it because we're an entertaining side. We're gonna get goals. We're gonna, it's gonna be very, very close cut. And with the last couple of games, it hasn't been. We haven't been on the score sheet. But I think a big game like this, like I was watching Dallas yesterday after West Ham game, and he was talking about how I think even the players didn't really know where they went wrong. Like, even for fans, like I didn't really understand what was going on with the team. But I think a big fixture like Chelsea can really motivate and push the squad in the right direction to train harder for Saturday's fixture, and obviously to try and look at the mistakes from the previous couple of games and try and work out, well, how do we stop this from happening, or how do we make sure that we can get shots on target and get a pass completed. And I don't know if it's going to be hard against Chelsea's back line, but I think if we can get an early goal and then take it from there, we should do all right. And then defensively, I don't know, man. Defensively, last time out, we just, against yourselves again, you just caught us off guard in weird positions. And although our squad is really good, I'm not dissing our squad in any way, but I think it's very new to them. The Premier League and playing against, obviously, you've got these world-class players like who have obviously played in the Bundesliga, who played in different leagues, and obviously they have a lot more Premier League experience, so they're obviously going to know how to play in the top flight and probably under better coaches, arguably. They're gonna know how to get leads off them quite easily. So I mean, it's all about how the players look at the game before going into it. I think West Ham game, there was just no motivation. But this Chelsea game, I'm just hoping, because it's a really big fixture, because this rivalry's been going back for so long. We just have to turn up in this game, especially when the players admitting it themselves. We've lost our last 5 games. Like, yeah, we're safe this season and we'll be staying next season, but it's like Konal keeps poking me and mentioning we could be doing a Sheffield United next season, and we don't want that.
Possible, yeah. I mean,
we may risk losing players next season. Rafinha could swipe. We have a couple of good players that could get easily swiped up by the bigger, more richer clubs, and who probably have more to play for at the moment than we do. So I think it's just a matter of motivation and taking these big fixtures as they are big games. So we should approach them as big games. Don't think because it's Chelsea we're going to get bad, so we might as well just take it easy. I think we have to have the right approach to the game, and then that's the only way we're going to know if we're capable of attacking the big sides and beating the big 6 teams. But yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think from our point of view then as well, like it's not similar because obviously we're the opposite really. We're on a really good run at the moment.
Yeah.
And like I said always, we just got to keep the momentum going. Just treat it like a cup final in the sense that we have to just win basically, and then put pressure on Leicester and Man United because they've been dropping points as well. Obviously, United have been dropping points here and there. Leicester have been dropping points as well. But our momentum's gathering, so we just have to make use of that. And then, like I said before, we just can't discredit Leeds at all. Like, fair enough, they're on a bad form right now, but coming Saturday and stuff, it's going to be a different game because it's new day and stuff and everything. And I'm sure Bielsa will get his boys fired up for the game and stuff. And Tuchel to do the same. But one thing I'm worried about with Chelsea in the sense is the lack of the lack of being clinical in a sense, because even against when we played Everton, we should have scored at least 5 or 6 goals because we had so many chances to score.
Yeah.
But obviously a win is a win. It's great, 2-0 and stuff. But yeah, we could have gone and scored 5 or 6 really. Same thing happened against Newcastle, 1-2-0. Should have won 5 or 6 really. We had so many chances. But we'll get obviously during the week and stuff we'll get into it more. But just general thoughts really. It's like Kai Havertz I think should stay in the team because he had a great performance against Everton. So It'd be a bit weird to take him out after such good form. And this is like the most fluid I've ever seen our front three as well. Of Werner, Havertz, and God, who was our last? My mind's gone blank. Hudson-Odoi, that's it. Yeah, Hudson-Odoi. Yeah, that's the most fluid I've seen our front three play this season. And I think that's our best front three at the moment, in the sense that, but obviously like Mount misses out, but that's a shame as well. But I think if the front three are like being fluid and stuff, then I don't see why you should take them out unless because of injury or you're resting, because we've got Atletico Madrid coming up as well. So Mason Mount and Jorginho are suspended for that. So in the sense that we can play them, we'd have to risk them in a sense in the league, because they're not going to play in the Champions League anyway because of that one match suspension. So and it's good to get some momentum for Kai Havertz as well, because we know that he'll come in for Mason Mount possibly against Atletico as well. So in that sense, it's good that he sort of cements that form, and we paid a lot of money for him as well. So we have to start seeing performances now. Obviously he had COVID and stuff. He's been injured most of the season. And when he's stepped in under Lampard, he's been terrible. Like there's only been 1 or 2 games where I've been like, yeah, Havertz has done well. I think our home game against Southampton, I know we didn't win that. It was 3-3, but I thought he had a good game. And then after that was Sevilla away. He was excellent in that game as well. That was his best performance at the time. But the way he played against Everton, he was superb. Like I keep watching the compilation highlights because he was so sick. Like the way he glides with the ball, like you can't stop him because he's tall, he's powerful as well, and he's quite intelligent as well. And I genuinely think next year and stuff he'll turn out to be a good player, and in the future as well. So it's just one of them.
But it's like all them players that you guys have, Lampard signed. I mean, we're sort of taking a piss a bit and having a bit of a dig at you at the beginning of the season. But they are really good players. I mean, we saw them. We saw Havertz and we saw Werner playing the Bundesliga.
Ziyech as well.
Ziyech playing for Ajax, and they're excellent players. I mean, they've done really well, and you'd want them, and they're the type of players you do want in the Premier League. I mean, Abhinav had sent on the group chat the expected table and where we are, and obviously Chelsea had been put like second or top 2, and I think you guys can get. Well, yeah, you guys can.
It's reachable. Like, I think the limit for us is second. Like, I 100%, I'm more confident that we can finish second now. Because of stability, and obviously, like you said, the players, and obviously other teams dropping points, and they've got to play each other as well. Like, I think Leicester and United got to play each other. I think don't write off Spurs as well. Spurs are in the mix as well. They're hitting good form. Liverpool's always going to be a tough game anyway, even though they're taking L's everywhere at the moment. But it's still a tough game on paper and stuff. But yeah, sorry, Karen, what you're saying, bro?
I mean, no, even like you were just saying, even Liverpool, like we had Liverpool first game of the season. All their team was fully fit, and it was a really, really
and us as well. It was the same for us. Every time one of our teams for Liverpool, bro, it's like the whole team's fixed. I remember at the start, because I think it was one of the between the first 2 games of the season. I think Liverpool had to face Leeds and Chelsea. And that's when their squad was fully fit. Everyone, Van Dijk, everyone. Thiago made his debut against us as well, and I was like, oh, great. But yeah,
it's the same with us. Like we played Liverpool with a full fit team. Played you guys, I think, with a fully fit team until I think it was Koch that got injured, and Llorente sort of went on he got injured the next game after that, I think. So then he hadn't played all this time up until the last couple of games. But like. Liverpool, like obviously first game of the season, 4-3, they beat us. Salah got a last minute penalty. I mean, who would have thought that Leeds could potentially, well, apart from like if we're excluding the penalty, because like obviously anyone could score penalties. That would have
Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno Fernandes. I was gonna say it, and I thought I'd leave it out because I do this every video.
You trigger the United fans.
But no, that would have been a draw against Liverpool, and I mean Liverpool are one of them sides that I have, despite being a Leeds fan, I have a lot of praise for Liverpool. Like, I do rate their squad, I rate them, and I was really pleased for them when they won the title last season. Because obviously they beat all my rivals in you guys, Chelsea, Man United, and the rest of the bunch.
It's a bit similar for us as well. Like obviously as Chelsea fans, we weren't happy in a sense, but we were kind of like, okay, as long as it's not Tottenham or Arsenal, then it's fine. Or Manchester United, but we had Liverpool, and then we had you guys, and after that they didn't have a fit team, and then now we're playing Liverpool again, and
obviously they still have a few
Best
players
chance.
out,
What's the
but
best chance for you
you
guys to get
never
a result
you
against them?
never you never know. They could
Especially with your team as well, the way you guys attack as well. Like,
yeah, but the thing is, like, you never know. They could come back, like, because they're still Liverpool, aren't they? They could come back and absolutely smash us, like you just said. So it's been a weird season. I was saying, I think our first video, I don't know, I think it was the first podcast we ever did. I was saying that Tottenham have been excellent this season and they could potentially win it. And now I'm thinking,
I was like,
why was I saying that?
nah,
Yeah,
nah.
and because they were excellent at the start of the season, and I mean they have been with the acquisition of Bale and Son and Kane. But yeah, man, it's a weird season. No fans, a lot of injuries. I think Leicester, Palace, Liverpool, Leeds are like the top four sides with the most injuries. So it's been a really weird season. So anything can happen, like you're saying. But I think you guys, we need the points just as much as you guys, in the sense that we've lost so many games now. And I don't know, in terms of team sheets, it's really scary because we don't know what Bielsa is going to do. Like last game, Bielsa's been playing Tyler Roberts and Costa, and he's left Harrison and Rodrigo on the bench,
Who do you think
which
is going to
makes
play
more
then? What's your starting
it's made
lineup
more
then?
sense. Second half against West Ham, we put on Harrison and Rodrigo both, and the game changed, and that was the
Yeah.
best team we probably had all season. Because after that, nothing happened. It was that second half was just like, if we had that from the beginning, then we might have had an advantage, but we didn't. So I think if he keeps the same team and benches Costa and Roberts, then that would be beneficial for us, especially against yourselves. We need attack, and Harrison has got that attack. I mean, you see the goals he scored this season, and they've been mental. Like, I weren't expecting it. So we definitely need him playing for us. But in that sense, like we need the points just as much as you guys. Like, you need it to climb up the ladder. We need it to sort of retain our position rather than going down in the table. I mean, we've got sides underneath us that they could pick up 3 points anytime and jump us.
Like Arsenal, yeah.
Yeah, Arsenal. Even Southampton. You never know. Like, I know they've had a bad patch, but they could jump us anytime. Wolves have got some really it looks from on paper some really easy fixtures coming up soon. Like the next 10 games, I think like 7 are easy and like 3 are quite hard. Again, they can jump us very easily. So it's just a matter of, we need 3 points just as much as you. So let's just see what happens, isn't it? But anything else you wanna touch on?
Yeah, so I think just generally then, I think for us then, I reckon we'll keep a similar-ish lineup, but then Thomas Tuchel always surprises us. Like, he just makes the most outrageous changes at times, but they're working at the moment. Like even yesterday, I wouldn't have banked Havertz to start. Like when the team shit came out, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
Havertz is starting. I was a bit nervous, but in the sense, I was like, a lot of Chelsea fans, including me, were like, let's see how he does in the false nine. Fair enough. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We've tried it, but it worked really well yesterday, and this is a new dimension that we've got as well.
Yeah.
Because Tammy Abraham's not going to play that false nine. God, he's awful in that position, playing false nine. Giroud's not quick enough, and Kai Havertz is just perfect for that position because he's quick, he's powerful, he's tall as well. Will get under set pieces as well, help out defensively. So I'd like to see Kai Havertz start against Leeds just because I think the momentum's there. So why not? I guess. But he played 90 minutes, so I don't know really. Thomas Tuchel's a hard guy to predict, not gonna lie. So. And one thing as well, I'd like to keep Zuma in the team. I think just because I think there was a stat or something that Leeds have conceded the most set pieces goal this season.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So like that screams cut Zuma because he scored against you guys as well. He scored 5 goals from headers as well.
Yeah, he scored a header against us, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I want to keep him in the team as well because of that threat. And I thought he had a good game against Everton as well. So. I reckon, going back, obviously, he'll help out because he defend. Obviously, that's what he does. But I reckon going forward as well, corners, free kicks, I think he'll be so helpful for us because he's such a cheat code in the air, man. Trust.
And we've been so bad on the corners and like set piece plays. Like you talk about that. Like that's another thing that I should really mention is even last game. Well, we've known from the beginning of the season that we haven't been great in terms of set pieces. But West Ham last time as well, it was the same score as you guys. I think it was a 3-1. And all 3 goals of theirs, I believe, in the first fixture was set pieces. And then the second game, Lingard had that penalty. and the second goal was a set piece as well. I think Cresswell got the assist.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't want the same to happen with Chelsea, because even last time when you played us, it was all set piece.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if Tuchel will do something different, or whether he will attack with use the advantage that he may have in terms of set pieces and just
We should, to be honest. I hope he does, because I think that's one of our best routes of scoring is through that. And like, even at the moment, we're not scoring a lot of goals because we're winning goals like 1 or 2-0. So even then, I don't think it'll be high scoring because we're so good at the back. Like, I don't see you guys scoring. Like, you might score one, I think, but I don't think you guys will score more than one, to be honest, because I think our defense has been so solid. Like, we've got the second best defensive record in the league after Man City.
Yeah.
And even then, we're only like a goal behind Man City in the sense that they've conceded like something like 15, we conceded 14, something like that. I don't know, around those numbers. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting, brother. What are your score predictions for the game?
I don't know. It's a tricky one. So last time you beat us 3-1. So off the bat of that, I'll go 2-1 Chelsea. I think we will lose. I think there's no doubt about it. But it all depends on who plays at the end of the day. If we have Harrison, if we have Rodrigo playing, and if Costa and Tyler Roberts are benched, then it's a different game. It might be a draw. But off the bat of how we're playing at the moment, and the team that we've been putting out, I mean, it's been shocking in my eyes. So I'd say 2-1 personally.
2-1, yeah.
What about yourself?
I'll go 2-0, I think. I just think our defense has just been the most impressive thing at the moment for us. So I back us to get a clean sheet, especially against you guys. But then again, I won't be surprised if we can see the goal because you've got brilliant attackers and stuff like Rafinha, Bamford and stuff. We have to definitely keep them too quiet as well. Well, does Rafinha play on the left or right? He plays on the...
Well, he's a right winger, but Bielsa last couple of games have been playing him on the left, and I personally don't think that works. I'd rather have him on the right and Harrison on the left. But I'm guessing if Harrison does play, then he'll play on the left and Rafinha play on the right, because it just works. But no, like I said, like we play a very high line and we've got a very attacking side. Defense wise,
that could work for us as well.
We play a 4-1-4-1, which is a bit of a funny formation.
Yeah, it's a weird one,
but it's like we're a very attacking team. So although we're not great on defensive wise, I mean, we've got some great defenders, but it's just not working this season for us tactically, whatever it is. But on the attack, I mean, if Rafinha are playing on both flanks and Bamford up top, if Bamford can pick a spot in the net and find it, then we should be fine with goals. But we really need Rafinha and Harrison, both wingers, to turn up if they do play. That is. So yeah, that's why I said 2-1. Because I do think we'll get a goal, because we're just that kind of team. But I don't know if we'll win. I still think Chelsea will have the upper hand, with the players they've got, and even like Havertz last game, he was excellent. So if these guys play, then it could be a bit worrying for our defense. So yeah.
I hope Rafinha plays on the left, actually, because that would mean that he's up against Reece James or like Azpilicueta if they play. But if he's on the right, I'll be slightly worried because he'll be up against Alonso/Chilwell. Chilwell I feel more comfortable with, because even against Liverpool he was great and stuff. He dealt with Salah well as well. So but yeah, I think that's the one player kind of feared. Like I think Bamford will be all right to deal with, because I think we've got those 3 centre backs anyway. So I think we're fine there. But I think Rafinha is really the only one that I'm worried about, and maybe Harrison as well. But yeah,
the thing is, Bamford's one of them players where he's on and off. Like some games he'll just be
exactly.
Like against Crystal Palace and Villa, and like they're not the greatest of sides, but they're not teams you want to underestimate as well. Like Villa smashed Liverpool 7-2 with their fully fit team. So I mean, and then we beat them, and we beat Palace as well. So I mean, Bamford scored in both them fixtures, and he's been amazing. But it's like some games he'll have an off game, like the last couple of games. The West Ham game was just soft, like crappy shots, like they weren't even hard enough or on target or anything. It was just like the easy goals he could have scored, he basically missed. Like I think again with Leeds, that's the thing. We have a lot of chances. So
that's
probably
like us as well. Yeah.
Against yourselves, we'll probably miss 10 chances before we do get a goal. And if we do get a goal, So that's why it's worrying as well.
It's
But
a
yeah,
big game
bro.
for Werner as well, I think,
Yeah,
with Timo Werner as well, because like you saw against the High Line that Liverpool played, he actually played really well. So I reckon it might be a similar thing. Like,
yeah,
fair enough, he missed a lot of chances against Everton, but in that sense, I don't think that game was tailored for him in a sense because Everton were dropping deep and stuff. But I think against Leeds, you guys obviously were that high line, and you
yeah.
saw how he exposed Liverpool with that high line as well. So well, hopefully you can score. You got like against Liverpool was unlucky really not to get that goal. Like it wasn't offside, but the rules are the rules. What can you do in it? But yeah, any final thoughts then before you wrap this up, bro?
No, man. I think it's gonna be. I think all there is to say is, whether we win or lose, it's gonna be a very entertaining game. Two big teams in English football. Definitely, like it's gonna be a huge game.
Huge game.
And I was just thinking, even last time, like we're talking about how players. Well, I was saying players are a bit soft nowadays, and you know, even last time, like you mentioned Chilwell, and I remembered, even Chilwell last time, like he was proper dirty, he's proper giving it his all,
Yeah, I
man.
remember. Yeah,
And
I
like
remember that.
there was a few opportunities that we could have had for like a free kick just outside of the box, and I just remember it didn't happen.
Chilwell,
And
yeah.
they kept the Sky Sports kept, I think it was on Sky, yeah, they kept panning to Frank Lampard, and I could just I could just tell like the Leeds fans are absolutely fuming. We're thinking they've got a 250 million pound squad. Well, just with the new players, that's excluding the team they already have, and they got Frank Lampard as manager. Like even I could do the job. Just stick me in the seat. You know what I mean?
Bro,
And
Lampard's done bits, bro.
they
The
kept
first season,
panning
man, he's
to
done bits for
Lampard.
us, bro.
They
The
kept
first, I say this to everyone, yeah. I'm like, first season, yeah. Like players like Mason Mount, Reece James, all these young English talent wouldn't be in our team right now if it wasn't for Frank Lampard. So that's why, like in that first season, I give him so much love and credit for that. Obviously, second season it just went to shit, really, in
Yeah,
the
I
sense
mean,
that you can't even get the best out of the players we got right now. So that just shows that he's not ready for the job yet.
yeah,
But I think you just have to praise what he's done in this first year, really. But
yeah,
my final thoughts are for the game. Just got to keep the momentum going, man. Just show Leeds where they are. They're 12 for a reason, bro. Like we have to like not take them for mugs either, in the sense, even though they are 12. Like on paper, it's an easier game for us compared to Everton and stuff. But you know how Leeds are going to come out. We have to expose them. But yeah, man. So
Yorkshire,
that. Sorry, go on.
Yorkshire. I was gonna say Yorkshire Grit versus Flash Cockney. That's the title of this video. Yeah,
The title of the video.
just remember.
Tell Canal in it.
Yeah, all right.
That's jokes, yeah. And yeah, if you're new around here, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, give us a sub and like on YouTube as well. We've also done some unpopular opinions as well, so check those out on YouTube and let us know what you think. And also drop us your comments as well, what you think of the upcoming game between Leeds and Chelsea, and give us your score predictions. And yeah, we'll see you soon.